Hello, you're welcome to Gist Arena. All we do is and gist. We discuss topical, trending, and exciting topics, and we have fun while at it. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy each thrilling moment of and gist.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Cynthia. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you? How was your day? Hi, I didn't care. How are
My
you
day
doing?
was fantastic until I saw this thing made me go, ah.
So,
I'm so tired.
yeah, actually,
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good.
What's
Um,
popping on your end?
okay,
What
so
is even there?
Kilon's
Nothing there. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. But I mean,
No wahala.
all right. So
So
without further ado, everyone is
okay.
welcome to another episode of the Serena, where all we do is and gist. And today we're back with another very sweet and emergency topic. Literally the emergency. This time is about family sagas, family situations, family issues. I mean, things that we just hear. And the first thing is to leave your mouth wide open, aghast, in shock
I'm
on the heinous, heinous occurrence of events that you have just heard about. I mean, without taking time, I'll just do a very, very brief overview of what we have seen, what one of us shared. I think it was Adenike that shared it. Yeah, so yeah. Basically, it's about a guy coming out on Facebook to say, look, you people of the world, come and see what is happening in my family. Oh. They are trying to cover it, but I don't want to be a part of this. Let's open it. Let everybody open. Let's open everything, all of our yards to the public. Let's shame not carry anybody again. So basically, it's come out to say that his son um, is not his, that the son was fathered by his wife's dad. So basically, the person he's believed to be his son is in actual fact his father-in-law's child, which by the way would mean that some sort of
His brother.
incest yeah, exactly, yes, some sort of incest. I think I'm not too sure that's what is even correct in this scenario, but basically a father has slept with his daughter and they have a child, and this child was presented to him as his. And I think when reading the story as well, it was mentioned that this father is actually the Oba of somewhere. So this father is a Kabiesi, is royal for such things to occur. Before we go far,
and
first and
okay.
foremost, have you
Sorry,
heard
can I
of?
jump?
Okay,
Hello, can
please
I
go ahead.
jump? He slept
Yes,
with
please.
all the daughters, all of them, not just
Okay, yes. All right, so that also came up that I think three daughters, and he slept with all of them. That's according to this guy, right? So we'll get to reactions from the family or what the family may be saying. But first and foremost, is this like, oh, I'm just hearing it for the first time, or have you heard of this kind of situation happening before? And if yes, just in what scenarios? Is it the same scenario or something slightly different, so to say? Over to you, ladies.
Okay. So which one of us is going first? Doc, do you want
You
to go
go first.
first?
You go first. You already have the mic.
You can
Okay,
go.
because for me, it shocked me. I've not heard of it before. I've not heard of it before. It's on social media that I've been reading about fathers sleeping with their daughters. Before I joined social media, I hadn't heard of it, honestly. And even after that, I don't think I know anyone in real life that does those types of things. Doc?
Well, it's the same with me. I think it's I've heard it in stories or of course on social media. I read all kinds of things. So yes, I don't have like a live experience or know someone who it has happened to before, but then I've read stories, of things like
Uh,
this happening. But this one, like it seems, is it a tradition? Is it a culture? Because I mean, why would he be sleeping with all his daughters? And it
it
seems like they know about it, and are they're okay with it, or are they cool with it? I don't even know. I've been thinking, well, what kind of thing is this? Is that their family or maybe their
or
cultural
what they do,
thing,
or what they
or
do as about to sustain the
and
membership.
something like that? Like I've been kind of like thinking, well,
As
what's
Doc,
going on
as
here?
Doc was
Don't
speaking
know.
about, okay, as Doc was speaking, I remember that I read a book by, she's an, I'm trying to remember her name. She's Daniel Steele, yeah, by Daniel Steele, and she had written about a lady. I think her name was Grace or something, that had killed her father because all through the time her mother was alive and ill, the father was sleeping with the daughter with the wife's knowledge, and the man was threatening the wife to telling her that he would have to leave her if he cannot sleep with the daughter because she was ill. I think she had a terminal illness. So
Yeah.
he was basically telling the daughter and the mother that for him to stay in the family, he has to be able to at least release his urges by sleeping with the daughter. And
Can you imagine?
everyone in the community saw him as an upstanding great guy and all of that. But he was
Nah,
sleeping with his daughter. And
nah.
the day the daughter killed him was the day her mother died, and he still tried to sleep with her. So she killed him, and then she reported herself to the police and all of that.
Oh,
And
I'm
the
sorry.
school.
Sorry. Sorry. Speaking of upstanding, this is not part of what we're discussing, but you guys should go watch Our Father. I think.
I've heard about it. I think I want to. I don't. There's so many films that is lagging behind for me to watch actually on Netflix.
Make gonna go
I've
watch
seen
out.
it, I don't know. I feel like it's going to trigger me, so I don't even want to watch it
No,
because
it
I feel
might.
I'll be triggered. I feel I'll be
It might
triggered.
trigger you though, but
I feel I'll be
thanks
having
for your
nightmares
call.
of something after reading. And I think I'll become even more paranoid than I currently am because I've been seeing it and just waka past
Ah,
seeing it on
and it's
Netflix.
true. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should not bother because
I don't even know what it is about.
because me now start looking at OB/GYNs with corner eye,
No, it
like
happened. So anyway, the synopsis,
let's get
Cynthia,
back
is that
to
the
the
guy.
Don't tell me about so I can enjoy it. I beg. Because you're saying to
No,
figure you.
you will know if you want to
Don't tell
watch
me.
it
No,
or
no,
not.
don't tell me. Don't tell me. Let me start it. And then because I don't know I'm going to watch it. If I hear
I
about the
think
synopsis, then I don't like it.
okay, you don't want to you don't okay.
No, I don't
Okay,
want. I don't want. Let me just watch it blindly. Yeah. So I mean, just in the same vein as both of you have said, I also don't think I know of any personal person. May we not know, may I not know ever in my life. May we not know personal people in our life also in Jesus' name. Just reading,
Amen.
I'll be reading about it by the grace of God. So yeah, I'm also be reading about, sorry, I'm Nigerian, I have to put that in Jesus' name there. Anyway, so I've also been reading about it as well, like every other person. And I know I've also read so many things, but there's really no way for me to verify. And again, we're reading about one. So first and foremost, when I read it, I remember that I was like, okay, so this thing is talking about now doesn't. I'm not victim blaming or anything like that. By the way, please understand. But the way it came across. It's not like she just got to know now. Is for me, I think it came across like I'm tired of keeping your secrets.
Yeah,
This is what has been happening. So I'm
it's
now wondering, this is just me wondering,
mhm.
what was the disconnect between when he found out and now that he wants to talk about it? Because, and I say that because the family as well, I mean, from what he himself wrote, they are saying that he's been beating his wife and all of that throughout the marriage. So that's sort of their own rebuttal. So it's not like I mean, so there's something there as well. So in my mind, I'm wondering again. I mean, is it saying these things because he's been accused of domestic violence against his own partner. Do you understand? And
Yeah.
I'm also thinking, if the child is not his, because he's saying that, why doesn't the father want to go and do a DNA test? I mean, in my mind, I'm like, I feel like if he has decided to come out, again, I'm not trying to discredit his story or anything like that. I mean, we have to look at it holistically, without any form of bias, even by only his own account. I'm like, if he has chosen, because obviously, to me, it doesn't sound like this thing is just, I mean, it's not like, oh, I just found out, this is what's happening. It feels like this has been ongoing, and now he just wants to bring it out to social media. According to him, I don't think he's averse to doing a DNA test. So why hasn't he gone to do a DNA test? And if he's done a DNA test, at least with that, he will confirm that that child is not his own. Am I making sense or not?
Yeah. You're making sense. I actually think that there's been some kind of issue in the family. Maybe the marriage right now as it rocks or something. So apparently they are not in good time, whatever. But what he's saying is that there's a smear campaign against him. So of course there's a disintegration in the marriage. Obviously that's that much we can assume, because he's claiming that there's a smear campaign against him, and now he's also coming out to say, okay, let's cuckoo,
Spoil everything.
yes, let's
I understand that.
everything.
I understand that. I'm just saying, if the idea was a smear campaign, don't you think coming out with a certainty by virtue of the DNA test that he has done, that child is
Yeah.
not his, is a very wonderful.
Yes. I think so. I think you should do a DNA test to prove that the child is not his, at least,
Also, he did not attack the allegation that he said they leveled against him regarding domestic violence to his wife. So that makes me wonder, is that true or is that not true? Do you understand?
Well,
Can I come in here?
yeah,
Yes.
please.
I would like to say that sometimes I get the feeling like we feel like in a marriage, there's either that there are two perfect people in court, or there's one toxic person and one perfect person. Sometimes both of them could be toxic. It's possible that the guy is a wife beater, and it's also possible that the wife too is. But I would say if the wife has been raped by her father, I would want to say that, except she's doing it for ritual purposes and all of that, and if she did it even as an adult, we probably want to look at it that, is she a victim, or is she actually an active part of this madness that is going on? I think that still needs to be resolved, because if it's a case where the father had been molesting her from when she was a minor, I don't know if I want to drag her too hard. She will probably need to be looking at her as a victim. But I would say that in whatever circumstance, passing someone else's child as another one's own, that one we need to hold her for that. But again, we also have to ask that if you've not done a DNA test, how do you know that that child is really not your own? Because it is
That's exactly my own problem. That's my problem. It's possible that this is a vendetta. Do you know that? It's possible this is just a vendetta, and that's my problem. And my problem is the onus of being correct or coming with evidence is on you. Exactly, it's on him. It's on him.
Edges must be. So for me, I just feel like it's a case of pay kind of thing. Like, you can't even isolate one and say this one is the normal one among all of them. It's like you're just dealing with a madhouse. So you're just trying to look for sanity in the middle.
So yeah, like what Cynthia said the other time, like he knew, but then it came across like, okay, I thought the man was molesting the daughter. Do you understand? And that he kept telling her that she should, maybe take it up, stand up to him. But then it seemed like he now found out eventually that the sisters are also aware, and that they've been trying to, keep it short. So it's like it's keep it down, or shut it down.
Like put it down.
So it's like it's maybe like, I think, maybe while they were in the marriage. Now, like I said, we are just assuming that the marriage has disintegrated. So maybe while things were going good, he knew about it, right? But then he thought that it was a case of molestation and everything like that. And but now he's getting to find out that, oh, it's even a thing. And so it's hard to now know, or to decide whether it's consensual, or it's a case of molestation. That's
Because
the
I
issue.
think that part is still not clear. As in,
Yes,
what's the latest part in the whole thing? Is she an active participant, or is
yes.
she, or does her father have the whole? And by the way, from what
The
I
whole
hear, from
thing.
what I read, seems like the father is late already. Anyway, it seems he's dead. So I think there's also the part of not wanting to smear his allegedly good name.
Hey, now, wow,
He
Jesus.
has already smelled it. He has already smelled it. Which was allegedly good news.
Because
But
I
yeah,
don't understand.
it's supposed to, the burden of proof is on him to at least show that, okay, this is the DNA, this son is not mine. And then you can
At
now
least
start, saying,
there is
okay, whose child is this, and all of that. But honestly, wow.
I'm just trying to think of the child now. So the child's grandpa is also his dad, right?
Yeah, and
Convoluted
he and his supposed son will be his brother-in-law. Oh my
then
God.
he will not suddenly because I remember a song that I heard where the guy went through all of that. That it was like that his father married a widow. Then the widow he now married the widow's daughter. Sometimes he shall found out that eventually he is his own grandpa. So he made a song out of it that he is his own grandpa.
Can I, can I say something? Can I say something?
Please go
Um,
ahead.
what do you think about the court of public opinion? So before we start responding, please let me just say this. I'm sure you both know that in some kind of ways, I am almost I'm not totally averse to social media, but in some sort of ways, I take several steps back. I'm very careful of how I put things out and stuff like that. I don't think it is right to come to social media for sort of allegations or fight. I think it's crazy. I think it's very immature. If you want to call somebody, I mean, even the idea of calling somebody out online as well, I have a problem with it. But then again, there's the school of thought of your truth is your truth. Everybody should be able to come out and speak, which is fine if you're talking about yourself. But in situations where you want to come and sort of call out an atrocity like this, which again is fine, I think you have to come out with full proof. In this case, for example, I'm thinking right now, why is this information online? Why did it come out to come and shout? Somebody has just mentioned that the father in this case is probably late. We've also established that obviously it's like this marriage is going through the rocks or whatever. So it's not like he himself is a saint. The family have also accused him by his own admission of domestic violence. So there's a lot of messy things going on.
So
And
you
I'm
kept saying by
wondering.
his own admission. Where did he admit that
No,
he
I mean by his own no, by his own admission. I mean the family accusing him. Like
So I
the
think
family accusing him.
he has said something about that the family, but he did not particularly say what the
No,
family
that's
said.
what I mean. Okay, let me change my own from admitting
He just said
to
that
communicating.
they are smearing
No,
his name, all over
yeah,
the
I
Yes.
place.
think
We
I'm
don't
saying
know whether
no. So
it's, whether his call out right now is a response to what the family, maybe the family, maybe a family member was the first person to go out there to say stuff about him, and now he's lashing back. So it could be that.
I understand. What I'm saying is
What
what
do
I'm
we think
saying
about
is no. What I'm saying is I think I've used admitting. I think I should have used communicating but he's communicated to us that the family is, saying that he used to beat his well. That's what I mean. Do you understand? So
Actually, he didn't,
why?
He
no,
didn't
actually, he
say
didn't say that. What he said was that they've been smearing his name, but he did not say
that.
what exactly they
He didn't
said.
say
Though
was another comment, that said, "Oh, I heard that he beats his wife." So that didn't come from him.
that's another a subject. You know the way online in-laws always
Yeah,
have something to
but
say,
someone else came to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I even heard that he also beats his wife." Blah blah blah, and all of that.
and other parts or other members of the family have dragged that too for making
See,
that
this
statement.
this kind of thing, that would, like, I understand what Cynthia is saying, because why is it that something happens to you and then the first place you want to go to is social media, to shout to God? It's just irritating. Some of this, I see something online and I'm just irritated. I'm like, well, what's this now? What's all this? Although some people, maybe for clout, maybe they think it's for entertainment or stuff like that, but it's just these things, are beginning to become so irritating. Like, what's wrong with people?
There's actually one I saw, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, where some guy who I feel, in my opinion, he was high on whatever he was high on, and he was writing about how the person he would have loved to marry he got away, and that he's just managing the one that is married to.
Can you
He
imagine?
was writing that nonsense. You know how people were like, the heart wants what it wants. I say, may the heart perish with what it wants. Like,
What?
how can you go
What's that?
and you're
That's what
finding out that this is nonsense
come
your husband
on.
is writing?
Now, if the wife says that now and comes out and start washing his own dirty linen out there, they will now start saying, no, keep quiet, blah blah. God.
As in some people, when they say do you, I'm like, first of all, check the kind of you are first. If you is a terrible person, don't do you, please. Go and fix you. Don't do you.
I mean,
Don't do you.
like, people are just, like I said, well, they provide entertainment for people. Me, I will say, I will laugh. I will, but then sometimes,
You don't have to subscribe to Netflix. I have a friend that is a lawyer. And the things that she shares from court, I'm like, Patty, you don't need to go and subscribe to Netflix again. You are getting
I
to
read one of the
entertainment.
comments that the kind of things they say, in the family court or something like that.
The things you will see, even the small ones that I read in Punch newspaper self, and we know that the people that are normal in Nigeria, they are no more than 200. So
Yeah.
they are not more than 200.
Oh wow.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, okay, so I think Cynthia, you were asking. So there's a question you asked that I wanted to respond to about why did he come out? Apart from the fact, so I think first of all, I think he was responding to the family already dragging him. And many times we say that nothing happens to men when they are accused of domestic violence. I'd like to talk about someone I know. Unfortunately, is late now. His wife actually accused him of domestic violence. He actually messed with his head. He said that it messed with his career as well because he had to be going. And he was living in Lagos. She took the case to Ogun State. He had to be going to Ogun State to go and, as in he had to go and clear himself in the whatever they call themselves, women affairs in Ogun State. I know he was a civil servant, so even then it affected him at work in the sense that because they didn't want to promote him, they didn't want it to look like they were supporting a DV offender, so he had to go clear himself. And when he did clear himself, turned out that it was a false allegation. That's what he told me anyway. But in my mind, even as he just told me, I was like, how do I know that it's not even true? So he already colored him for me, even as a person. And I'm like, how do I know?
You know what? Currently, I am following this Amber Heard and what's this guy? The guy that played Captain of Johnny Depp's story. I'm currently following that story. I don't know if you guys are following it as well.
No,
I'm following it the way Peter was following Jesus.
I'm so invested. I am so invested. I think I am so invested in this thing. Jesus. Woo!
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
Do you think Amber is lying?
I think she's lying. Like,
Well,
I've listened to that.
it seems
Oh
so
Lord.
from some things that
Uh-uh.
I've read or
I've
something, it
seen
seems like
like
she's
so many
lying.
things. I've seen like so. If I even me that I'm watching, I've caught her in so many lies. Even me that I'm watching like this, with this case alone, I've caught her in so many lies. Abba, uh,
Hmm.
the auntie, she
She did
carry
Lamba.
she dey cook am, she dey cook lamba abeg, she dey cook lamba. She try, but this is the thing. I don't think that he is also a saint. I don't think he's a saint. But of
Mm.
course, for the sake of this case, he has painted himself a saint. And I see that, but I feel like the guy knew that later in future he's going to sue the hell out of her. Sorry for the
Uh-huh.
I don't know what that is. And so the guy kept like evidence, like geez,
Mm.
he's sinking her in his evidence. It's just wow,
Mm.
As in,
wow,
like,
wow, wow.
And
there's
that's better.
something. Okay, sorry. There's something one of my friends, Aisha, usually says. She's like that when a man has determined that the marriage is over, he goes into war strategy mode. So
Yeah,
he's collecting the evidence. He's
the guy has evidence. So geez, the guy has evidence. Ha.
getting foolproof. But when a lady has decided that she wants to divorce, first of all, she's telling the man everything she plans to do. She's telling him to
I mean,
fight him. It's all
Shabi was
emotional.
we should be using logic. Eh? You don't have this
these are
so
why men. This is why part of the reason why men are different from women. Gosh,
but
the
it
strategy is just to farm.
doesn't mean that women too should not apply logic. Like, come on, when you know that, I mean, okay, maybe you were ignorant before, but now you know that the people the person you are dealing with is a logical being. So you apply. Come on, have sense. Apply
You
your
see,
sense. You know, we say
many
you know
times,
sense now. What? Use them.
many times, and you see the woman, in spite of it, as in the man, once he has determined that this marriage is over, as in he can even sleep with that woman. But even in all of that, he's collecting his evidence. So that
No.
when it comes for custody to decide who gets the child, he can prove that the woman is a crazy
No.
person that cannot take care of a child. He's typically, but
Emotional.
women get so emotionally tangled and all of that, and eventually the whole thing will now not have head, will not have tail. By the time, as in the whole story will fall apart in court, because while in court, she's also insulting the judge. She's getting all emotional. She's talking about how they want to take her child away from her. She's getting all emotional, further strengthening the man's point that she's not stable. So she comes across as a mad person. And nobody is going to grant custody to you as a mad person in that case.
Sorry, oh.
Yeah,
And then they come back
That's what
later
that's
and
what
say that the man intimidated her and they use something against. Most times it's strategy.
leave that story. I think that women should start having sense. That's the
yeah,
thing.
I agree. I agree. Well, all that I do.
Yeah. You should start
Let's
having
stop
sense
doing that smith thing. Smith.
and go who will help. Ah, I like
Nobody, ma'am.
And then another time you now break
Nobody.
down in court, you will not cry again. You think that one will move. It will not be working against you. But in your mind, you think that you are being your authentic self. One agony aunt on social media will tell you, do you tell your story? You go online, go and tell your story. Then the man will be able to prove that you are not stable because you have been talking everywhere. Instead of you gathering the evidence to go and use in court, you have shared everything on Facebook.
so.
Then they will now go like you're in contempt of court because you're talking about the case when it is
Sorry.
in court.
Now them happy. But that's what they don't know. You'll be providing entertainment for people. People will those
People will be
people will
there,
not
be
stand
telling you,
with
I see you, sis.
you
I
when
hear you.
it comes to show.
Every time we go there. Let me leave that one. Okay, then there was a second one I shared as well that I think is related.
Okay.
I think that one is one of siblings sleeping with one another or something.
That
There
one
was another
crazy.
one.
Crazy things are happening. This one. I said some things you just don't want to believe that they are. I mean, they are real. So this one is. Someone said that the brother that would be like maybe they have siblings now or something. Brought her to
That the
from the
one that has
village and then
facility.
sleeping with her and wants
Mhm.
them to they wanted to maybe they plan to get married because apparently there's another, I mean, two of their siblings are married. She said they've been married for
Okay.
5 years or something like that. I don't understand, where in the world that is happening when it's not
You said they are from Abakaliki. I hope they are not. I hope it's one of those things that never happened. That they are just sharing.
they're like about how many children now? Maybe 48 children or something. He said,
24 boys,
go
24
ni
girls.
jare. Otoro divide God. She said 24 girls, 24 boys.
I mean,
It's a lie, Joe.
50. Because it's one of those things. I just want to believe that it never happened.
Lamba. Lamba.
What's that kind of
Olórí
thing?
àwọn Lamba.
That's okay, because wait, she said that two of the her siblings are married, Abby, but then she's now saying that this one that brought her to town that is sleeping with her says that he doesn't want to, go to the village to do small thing on her head because the older siblings may not agree. So how did they agree for
That one.
the other ones to get married? Well, I
Don't
beg.
say, okay, to could make any sense.
Where I change Joro Lumofilo.
I feel like doing for other people that are just there to just come and be. There's one I saw, I think for him, that one, all those AMVCA people that Erica said that address is costing whatever amount in dollars.
It's not
And they
Erica.
said,
It's not Erica. It's what's her name again?
Funeda or something like that.
Ifrenada, yes, Ifrenada.
Can you imagine?
Just say the cost.
Do they even think that we're slow? What is
That here is sure. That is Ororo that is in my brain. Come and be sucking it away with your story.
I say we know this to the cover the social media. I could say if it's somebody that maybe just had a ceremony that was I mean the talk of the town now, we would even say okay, you that you had ceremony that at least you are now coming to say give me. I beg you.
I beg you, I beg. Okay. So do we have any other angle we want to explore on this story? Or can we call it a night?
I think they should get
I mean,
that.
I always say that get that. Make her then get out. Get out.
Get that. Not me then go use. Not my data they will use to catch clouds.
I mean, but then again, if their story comes back online, we reach you.
That incest thing, actually, I want to believe that is actually happening, and I'm not even.
Of course, it's happening.
I'm actually talking about maybe the one that is even consensual now, not probably the one that the father is molesting the child, or hey, maybe
you're looking at the one of siblings.
Yeah, I agree.
Incestuous relationships that are consensual, because in this
That's
world,
maybe between siblings. Is that what you're looking at?
even between father and it's possible.
No, for me, I won't consider it consensual if the child is a minor, because even if the child says yes, a minor cannot consent.
Yes, of course. If it involves a minor, of course, we know that that's statutory rape.
Yes, of course.
If the father had been doing that since they were kids, so that means now wow.
So for me, I don't look at some. But for me, sometimes I wish we could have psychologists that go into the brains of molesters so that we can begin to understand root causes. Because sometimes it is for rituals. I think sometimes it's really for rituals, because I read a book. I just finished reading the book. What was the title now? Rain Can Never Know. I know the story, I don't want to spoil the story in case someone is still planning to read it, but the long and short is that the guy was afraid because there was a curse, he believed there was a curse in his lineage. And when he went to a Babalawo, the Babalawo told him that part of the things that he needs to do to plan to get himself, to get the curse off, was for him to sleep with a virgin or something like that. A virgin, an underaged, or get some underaged person to rape an underage person, something of the sort. So it was for rituals. It wasn't because he was attracted to any underage person. It was because he was asked to do it. And I believe that sometimes I believe that these things we just look at it that what would make a man have erection for his child? It could be for ritual sake. I
Yeah,
think so.
there are actually different. There are different reasons. There are different reasons that could be, like you said, that could be this one would be, what would we call it now? Would it be a social reason or environmental? There are different reasons. There are psychological reasons, you know, and all of that. So each case would be treated differently. That's
Because I feel like we are lumping everything as one, and maybe we are not getting to we are not treating the
yes.
matter the way it should be
Some
treated. That's how I feel.
and that's the thing. It's for instance now it's when assessment is done and everything. That's when you can actually find information that can help you decide. Okay, this is this. This is that. Now, for instance, yes, there are people that are considered. I mean, pedophiles. You know, they are people that have sexual interest in underage, or they call them pre Jesus Christ, please, I don't want to break my braces. So so let me not break up, but let's just use
Like that.
minors that children that have not reached puberty.
Okay.
So but now that those are the people that, so it's believed that they don't necessarily, so that's why it's considered, you know, a psychological issue. So they don't necessarily like feel good about it. It's not as if they like it and they can't control it. They just find out that, oh, this you know is, or these are the kind of people that they, you know, have sexual interest in. And some actually would not even, they won't act on their desire, okay, because they know it's not right.
Yeah.
So they find a way. Maybe they probably go to therapy, they find a way to manage it, but then they won't also maybe approach people that, you know, that have reached puberty, or older people, adults, you know, like that. So those are the real, people that you would actually call, you know, pedophiles, because pedophile or pedophilia is like a type of paraphilia. And that's when you have sexual, you know, desires or interest in things that are considered, you know, well, would I say abnormal, but things that would naturally not, you know, arouse in sexual interest or desire, you know, in an adult or in people generally. Okay, so but then there are some persons that are just sick in the head, or they're just evil, or, you know, maybe for a ritual or whatever. Now, so you have that category of people. It's not because, you know, they're just monsters, perverts that go after, you know, minors and all of that and molest them. Do you understand? So real pedophiles, some of them don't act on their desire. Some do, but some don't. Understand that?
I would like to go to the issue, so if we have a case where a pedophile acts on his or her interest, if the person gets to court, will the person be able to more or less plead for some form of lenience because there is a medical condition?
Again,
if you feel like bearing somebody and you go ahead and bear the person just because you felt like it or because it's innate, will you go and say that?
Wait, for instance, when certain people have committed, you know, gruesome crimes, and they get away with it. Well, I won't say get away with it like that, because they will still be committed, you know, to asylum. They will still be committed, you know, to some kind of psychiatric treatment, you know, where they would be maybe locked up somewhere so that they can receive treatment. But then a professional would have to come and testify. So that would be like a bad witness. The person would have to assess them and all of that, and then determine that crime was committed, you know,
the result of the conviction.
In their right frame of mind, so they can plead by reason of insanity. So yes, in that case, maybe a pedophile, like an expert would have to ascertain you know that okay, this person actually is suffering from pedophilia.
Yeah.
So, but then it's not as if it's just going to work free too, because
The person will probably go and get therapy or something, or will be sent
and
into an
then it would
institution.
also be, you know, that maybe his name would also enter, you know, the register.
Offenders.
Yes, because I mean, people have to be aware that okay, this person, you know, you have to keep children away from him or her or something like that. So I think that's what's gonna happen. But for others, because there are so anybody can come and plead by reason of whatever, but then there has to be an expert witness to actually say that this is right. So if that's the case, well, unfortunately they won't get, I don't think they would get, nobody gets away with such, but it's just that you won't get a jail term, so to speak, if it's by reason of insanity or mental ill health.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I think we can draw this to a close. I mean, last, let everyone believe what they want to believe. I don't think, I don't know if we believe that story in Italy, but I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean,
Now that one, they're calling names though. Is the other one I do believe, the other sibling, but the first one that we talked about
is believable. But the one of the 48 children is for cloud.
Believe at your own risk.
At your own risk.
Believe at your own risk. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to us. I mean, if you want to comment on what we've just spoken about, please drop a comment. If you know somebody that kind of thing has happened to, let us know. Share with us. If not, listen and enjoy. If you have also read a lot like we have as well, let us know as well. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to us. Follow us on our social media at Gist Arena with a double A. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Keep listening to Gist Arena. Bye-bye. I'm logging out.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Gist Arena. We hope you enjoyed the topic discussed. Please drop your comments and let us know what you think about it. We'll definitely love to hear from you. Until next time, bye!